Good evening, Swindon Town fans. Yes, that's right. As you can see, now we have more presenters here at Swindon than Swindon have international players. So initially we were due to record this episode on Tuesday, but Fyfie wasn't feeling very well. So we've decided to do a double episode recording today, which will be released, I think, over the weekend. Fyfie will confirm that later. But the good news is he's feeling a lot better now, and at least he had a good excuse compared to Adam's excuse when he had a toothache, bless him. So, yes. So for tonight's episode, we've got something a bit different. We're going to have a review of the season so far in the league and Swindon's position in it. We did some pre-season predictions before the season started, so we're going to have a look how teams are doing compared to what we predicted. And we were supposed to have the Ned report, but unfortunately that's not happening. So we might lose some viewers for that, but we are sorry. He's promised he will up his game. So hopefully, yeah, he'll do something soon. So firstly, we'll go around to each of you then. We'll start off with Warren. With Swindon's position, got to be pleased where we are at the moment. Surely it was better than any of us would have expected it to be.
Yeah, I was one of the people that was going, if we stay in the league, it would be a great achievement when we were talking through pre-season. So you'd snap your hand off to where we are now. Yeah, it's just been brilliant. We've said on previous podcasts, the recruitment's been unbelievable. The manager's got his philosophy and his ideas over the coaching staff. The players have took to it. It's been a really successful first few months. Yeah, long may it continue. And imagine where we could have been if our home form was any good. Do you know what I mean? If our home form was just a little bit better than what it is at this present time, we'd be right up there with Forest Green, wouldn't we? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, but like we said, we snap our hand off for where we are now. Let's just hope we can keep it going, especially with the brand of football that we play. Getting into the colder months, the pitches get more bobblier. Are we going to be able to play this pretty style of football that we play? But yeah, very successful start, and long may it continue.
Yes, absolutely, mate. Ned, you're one of the more positive members from our panel. I guess at the beginning of the season, you predicted us to do fairly well. Has that been the case, do you think, or are we doing slightly worse or slightly better than what you predicted?
Well, I think I predicted 9th, if I remember correctly, 8th or 9th. So we're doing better than that. Obviously, we're 7th at the moment, aren't we? So, I mean, what I would say is my predictions was based upon a much worse team than we've got. I mean, the recruitment has been sublime. And unbelievable, if anything, because I mean, Reed. Who would have thought we'd have had him? We let go. Well, Doncaster didn't take him on, and then we managed to pick him up the following day, wasn't it? But his quality has just come to light over these last few games. I mean, my God. The only worry, I guess, with this quality, with all the quality additions that we've made, is that we've got no players on longer than a 1-year contract, so we need to get that checkbook out and the old printer out and print off some contracts at some point. But it's gone so much better. We kept on using that phrase. We're just we're lucky to have a club. We should be shouldn't be expecting too much. But the recruitment's been that good that the world is our oyster. And let's be honest as well, the team that higher league opposition. So if we can keep this team together, I mean, I think we can do extremely well in League One next season. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point what you make about the contracts, and we'll come to that a bit later. But I mean, what you said is absolutely right. I think most of our predictions were based on us having a poor team, and just about anything more than survival would have been a bonus. But But I mean, Adam, I'll come to you. Ned mentioned Lewis Reed there about him coming into form, but I've always felt that he's been one of those players that's kind of gone under the radar since he's come in the team, but has been one of our most consistent players all season. What do you think about him and the role he plays in the team, and how key is he? Obviously, I'm going to you for your tactical hat there, mate. I'm sorry, nothing changes. Different presenter, same questions, I'm afraid.
No. Remember you killed Louis Reed for the first 2 games that he played. Just remember that.
I did kill him. But as did half the fan base kill Tyrese Simpson. Yeah. So it's I think, and to be honest, anybody who watches my team knows any of my teams know I love a holding midfielder. So it's in terms of, I think with Reed when he first started out, he wasn't very good when he first come on, and it could have been nerves, it could have been anything else, but also you've got to look at the fact that he was being compared to Anthony Grant, in terms of local favourites. Even if you're not comparing him to Anthony Grant, you're comparing him to an informed Jordan Lydon, but yeah, I think he's going to be pinnacle, and I think to have a ball play and holding midfielder is a massive advantage in League Two. Typically a holding midfielder in League Two is an Anthony Grant type figure, somebody who's just going to break up the play, somebody who can read the game really well, but maybe not have the kind of creativity that Louis Reed does have. He's going to be pinnacle. I mean, no doubt about it for the rest of this season. And I think what the advantage we've got is if we do miss him for a game due to injury or suspension or something like that, we have sufficient enough backup for him. And I think that's probably the difference that we probably had, even in comparison to the Welland squad that won League Two, or won by default League Two. That's kind of the big difference that we've got this season. But yeah, I mean, I was with Ned. I'm pretty sure I said 9th as well at the beginning of the season. I actually went for a different angle. I went for 9th because I thought that we were a big enough club to attract a good level of players. Don't get me wrong, I didn't think we would attract the level of quality that we really have done when you think about it. But I thought that if we didn't pick it up at the beginning in the first half of the season, we would turn it around in January anyway. So yeah, for my prediction, obviously we're doing a lot better. We're 3 points off second place with a game in hand. So it's I think it's massively different. On the 1 year contract point though, that's the EFL ruling though, isn't it? That was part of the EFL loan thing, I think, if I remember rightly. So I don't think that won't be able to change until next season. But you're right. I think Ned's right. We probably do need to start thinking about getting
There's got to be some sort of. There's going to be a few gentleman agreements, surely, somewhere across the line.
Yeah, because otherwise we'll have 19 players on bloody Bosman. So,
yeah. If we just keep being as successful as we're doing, the players will want to stay, won't we? If we're just sat near the bottom end, they've got an easy cop out, haven't we? Or we're not being. But if we're at the top end of the league challenging, there's no reason why they wouldn't want to.
And a lot of players are suckers for a glory story as well. Like, yeah, okay, we when we review the season as a whole, we can look at it and say we were nearly without a club, blah, blah, blah. We can't use it as an excuse now. We've said that before, but we can look at it as a review of the season and say we were nearly without a club. There will be players in that team that probably signed to Swindon because they thought they could be part of a big story. Because that will earn them their next contract wherever they go. And I think that's going to, but I think I know we are talking about it potentially later, but I actually think probably the player that's going to be very important to us is actually Dion Conroy for the rest of the season. But I can explain why I think that later when we talk about players in January, etc.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I agree with you on Dion Conroy. I think he's probably one of our most underrated players this season, and it's just been so good to see him bounce back when a lot of people had doubted him after his injuries, and even there was much of our fan base at the end of last season saying we should have released him. So it's good to see him turn things around, and he does make a difference being that sort of ball playing central defender, and he pretty much starts a lot of our moves that leads to us retaining possession so well. Kieran, at the risk of turning this into the Louis Reed show, is there a case for Anthony Grant and Louis Reed to be playing together, particularly when we seem to struggle at home like we have done against teams like Port Vale and Carlisle and Rochdale, where some believe that an Anthony Grant in the midfield could have made a difference.
I don't know whether he would or not, because I don't think I know we've conceded and lost games at home, but defending isn't the issue at home. We seem to just don't attack enough. I don't know how Anthony Grant he's sort of like a fairy tale one. I think the only way he gets into that side if we need a centre back. I can't see, or he comes off for Leary. You could have.
He's clearly out of favour at the moment.
He's clearly out of favour, and I don't think he wanted to be. I don't think the head coach wanted to necessarily have him there. I think there was pressure from the fan base to sign him, and I think at the time we didn't have Louis Reed's, Ryan East, Johnny Williams, or anyone like that. So for that type of player, he was the only one that we had or looked like getting. So I think he was sort of very much a backup if we couldn't find anyone else. It could be worth a try against these shithousey teams, but if I don't think it would be the type of way we'd play. I think Garner sticks to the way he wants to play. And I don't think he's very much not the, if we can't beat them, join them sort of one. He wants to beat them playing his way. Whether that's going to be a good or a downfall for him, but I just can't see. I think if he was going to play to both of those types of player at home, he'd play their Reed and East at the moment.
Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. What was your prediction at the beginning of the season? How did you think Swindon were going to?
I think I said around mid-table, sort of falling short of the playoffs. I can't really remember, but I think I sort of everyone sort of went along those lines. I think at the time I said I didn't really care if we just finished 1 point above relegation. But now I want us to get fucking promoted to get out of this shit league. But it's not the be all. I don't think on the whole of it, it's not the be all and end all. But the players that we've got, realistically, we should be up the top end of this table. We should be minimum playoffs now. And if we don't get into the playoffs this season, I think this season has been a failure. Because the players that we've got and where we've recruited, if we hadn't recruited so well, we had like a Lee Power-esque recruitment, had fucking Brandon and Ottenwell, all those shit cunts in there, like I think we could say, all right, fair enough, but we've got some good players here. We've got a Welsh international, for fuck's sake. Like, I know he's not being end all. We've got some good players that we should be doing a lot better. And I think we'll see, if we see a striker coming in January, a proper goal scoring striker to sort of partnership with Tyree Simpson, and to add that to the squad, that even if it's just an impact striker, I think that will get us up there and over the line. But yeah, I think we should definitely be at the top end of this table.
Yeah, no, that's great, mate. And it's good you're saying about the quality that we've got in this team and the expectations raising, because that was one of the questions I was going to ask next. So, Warren, do you think that it's reasonable now, knowing the quality that we've got in this team, that expectations should be raised? We should be looking at a minimum of playoffs, or do you think that that's too much pressure on this, what is a relatively young team?
As fans, we're always going to dream, and I agree with Kieran with the quality of the squad. I think we shouldn't really accept anything less than playoffs now. I really do think that. It's just, you look at the quality. Yeah, they've got the pressure of it, but like they say, we're just riding a wave, aren't we? We've gone from, I know we don't like talking about it, but not nearly having a club or not having no players, and we were all worried about it in the summer. But now that's gone, and we should be now just looking upwards. And you know what I mean, there's no reason. We're looking at this league, and we've beaten all around the top teams. We've beaten Forest Green and all stuff like that, so there should be no reason why we can't be up there challenging. And yeah, I agree with what Kieran said, that we should be no less than playoffs, definitely.
Yeah, for me, the last time we were in this league, it took us 3 seasons to get out of this shitty league, and we can all agree it is a shitty league. My concern is that much of our fan base will be like, at the end of the season, if we don't go up, well, at least we've got a club. And I would see it as a disappointment myself if we didn't go up this season. Yeah. And then if we don't go up this season, with the players we've got on a 1-year contract, they might, especially those that have played well, they might decide to fuck off.
Yeah, I don't think it's to get Johnny Williams staying, Louis Reed at this stage. We've got a lot of League One players in this squad that are sort of bit out of favour and sort of looking to rejig their careers. They're either next season going to be in League One with us, or maybe bottom half Championship sides. or they'll be like, or they'll go to bottom half League One Championship sides who don't get out this league. And also, if we don't get out this year, I know we're riding away with it, but I think the attendances will just plummet right back down to 6,000. We'll lose a lot of interest again, and I think that'll be a massive problem for the club and for the owners there.
I think Clem's been around the club long enough, and I think at the start of the season he was very clever that he fanned it all down. He said to the fans, "Look, we just want to stay in this league this year." But I think behind the scenes, when they were recruiting, there's a growing confidence that they know that we should be challenging at the top end of the league. And when they're bringing these players in, like Kieran stated, that you feel can play at League One level, they're saying to them that this season we're going to go under the radar, we're going to sneak our way up this league, and we're going to hopefully try and get out of it. And then if we get out of it, there's going to be, those players will want to stay because they'll be happy. They'll be at a club that they know they're playing football with a manager that they like. And yeah, I think that's what it is. And I think they've just been very clever in fanning the waves down of the fans. But it's only going to get, if we stay at this top end, it's going to get, the pressure's going to build. It's just whether we can recruit well enough again in January and add those additions that would push us across the line.
Yeah, I think Clem's been clever as well, because we're always sort of us and Bradford, we're the biggest two clubs in this league, without a shadow of doubt, by miles, absolute miles of some teams. Like the rest is absolute tin pot. But we're not going to go under the radar very easily unless we don't really have a club and we say that we're just going to hope to stay up and
perfect start
through the table. And Clem's a football man. He knows it. I think that was the most clever thing to stay at the start of the season, because it's sort of, a lot of teams were underestimating us, not thinking we're very, very good, not until we started signing players, and then like, hold on. I think that's played into our court quite well this year.
Yeah, I think with the squad we've got, if we don't go up with this squad, we're never going to get a better squad than this. So it would be tough going, and we could be in this bottom tier for a long time. So I think it's safe to say that, you know, expectations have been raised, and quite rightly so. And yeah, we should be looking at playoffs minimum. Woody, I'll ask you a question, and it kind of goes into the whole transfer business we might have in January. Don't worry, it's not a tactics one this time, I assure you, but you've probably got a better idea about things like training and fitness than most of us. This is something that I've been thinking of. Do you think that a lack of pre-season will come back to bite us in the ass towards the end of the season, when injuries and things start to take their toll? Because my understanding is you need to have a good season to reduce the chances of fitness issues and injuries.
No.
No.
My blunt answer to that. I think that, you know, we invested heavily in terms of sports scientists, therapists. My good friend Ali is now first team physio, so yeah, friend. I say friend, wife of a friend. But the so I don't think I think we can forget about the lack of pre-season now. We've probably still got, in terms of first team quality, we've probably got the biggest squad in the league, in terms of, you know, not having to backfill with youngsters. So January is still important. It is still an important month, both for playing. I can't remember who we got, but I think I looked the other day, and it's an important month off the field as well as it is on the field. But yeah, I don't think that comes into it now. We've, as I saw Ned nodding, he's obviously seen it as well. But where we've invested so well, and I've always said that sometimes that you do have to invest in the backroom staff before you invest on the pitch, and I think we've done things the right way this time. You know, we all, as much as we all love him, we all remember the days of Dick Mackey and things like that, where I think he actually left the club because he wasn't qualified enough. You know, so it's you know, there's all those kind of conspiracy theories and that, but I don't think we can use pre-season as a reason now. You know, that's a reason in October, September time when we're looking a bit flaggy. But you know, we've got all of that out of the system now. We've got players being called up for international duty, for crying out loud. You know, so it shouldn't have such an impact. But in terms of training and fitness and all that, I'm going to repeat myself, but I have full faith in the backroom staff on that one. It helps that Garner's a young coach with a different approach as well, because, you know, John Sheridan's managers like that would have been like probably a bit old school in the fitness and not really knowing how to look after the players very well. Whereas Garner was not going to be like that, and obviously he's got a lot of help behind him as well. It just feels a lot more confident behind the scenes now.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point that you raise, and I think it shows with Clem Morfuni and Ben Garner, they've got this whole holistic approach to everything behind the club, which is something that obviously we lacked last season, but we have done for many years. There seems to be a proper structure in place, and every part of that structure adds to success on the pitch. So that's a good thing. So when we're looking to strengthen in January, Ned, what areas do you think we need to strengthen in? Obviously, we need a striker. Is there anyone on your radar at all? Jerome Sinclair?
Still unattached, I understand.
I'm waiting for the flip chart to come out now, and here we go.
No, I haven't done it at all, mate. Sorry. That would have been the classic time to do a Ned report on prospective strikers, but no, I haven't done it. But anyway, interestingly enough, 3 hours ago, Thatcher's is now a club. What do they call it?
Partner.
Club partner, official club partner. Oh, Thatcher's, excellent.
You've got to go,
Love
you'll
Thatcher's.
have to go down on 15 minutes to get the side of them.
Like, sorry guys, you're not going to have this problem with Fyfie, but I've just got to sort my dog out because she's being a twat at the moment.
You can't call your missus
Unbelievable.
that.
Bloody bear with me.
She might watch this. You can't call her that.
I suppose I should fill this with something.
Carry on.
Okay, so
yes, Thatcher's now a club partner.
Say hello to the camera. There you go.
She had a rough day.
Oh dear. Other positions. Let's think about other
Doggy.
positions that we should strengthen.
Good to see some things don't change.
Definitely Christian Jr.
Fuck off! I've not got Jack Frost there.
Yet.
JFJ.
Fucking Christian. I don't support Cheltenham either.
The Sunderland. Both into League One teams.
Don't mention that.
This is awkward.
Everyone had a nice day? No. What do you have for tea?
Yep, starving.
There he is.
Here he is.
There he is.
It's going well, lads.
We
It's
got
going
to
well.
keep this in.
Right.
Oh, Thin Fyfie's back. Right.
Where are we then?
Wow.
You horrible bastard.
Sorry.
Right, so as we have no Ned report, Kieran, when do you think we need to strengthen in January?
I think we could do with maybe another sort of centre half as cover, because I think if we hadn't had Crawley called off through internationals, we didn't really have any centre backs. I think that's an area, and I say possibly a fullback as well. But as we're not playing, but possibly a fullback that can play. Is it left back? Yeah, left back. I think one of the two. But I think that. But I think also a sort of a goal scoring striker, and either one that's going to start alongside Tyree Simpson, maybe switch him up in between, because he's playing a lot of football for a 19-year-old. Like, it's the first full season, he's playing a lot of football. And if he gets an injury, we haven't got anyone to sort of come in and replace him as a big goal scoring striker. So I think we need to look at someone with experience to help him through the game, coach him into positions, and also either to come on as an impact sub, or as say play alongside him, so we've got that option as well if we just need to go 4-4-2, because sometimes you do, but not Brett Pittman or someone as big as Brett Pittman, because we don't need that. The Pies have just got good again as well.
Well, that's the thing, and also they obviously have to fit into Ben Garner's style of play. We've seen that with the recruitment so far that he is in the market for a certain type of player, and obviously the harmony in the squad's so good at the moment that they need to fit in with that squad.
I think that's where we're not going to get necessarily someone as what we would class as experienced, someone like James Norwood. I think if we got that, because I think they'd upset the apple cart a little bit within like the dressing room, because fuck's that? Because I think it's someone so anyone that could undermine Bagana's authority. I don't think you have in the dressing room. I think per se that's Anthony Grant's issue. So I think it's going to be someone that's sort of younger, 20, sort of mid to late 20s, but has played a lot of football to sort of is going to fit that mold and that can play football. That isn't just someone that's going to be looking to head the ball.
All right, so as we head to Monty Python levels of surrealism there, Warren, what's your prediction now for the business end of the season? How do you think we're going to get on?
I do think we do need to recruit. I think we're going to get a hard part of the season. I think we've done really well so far, and I think we will get a tough spell where maybe we won't win maybe we won't win a game for 3 games. I think during the winter period, like I said earlier, with the pitches getting bobbly and the weather, I think we may struggle. We've got younger players used to playing this good brand of football that might not come off in these, this time of the year. But I think January we'll have to sort that out, whether we bring in some other players or we do need some experience, I feel. But like Kieran's point of undermining the manager, and I think that's where Grant has struggled, like Kieran said. But like we say, we've got to be disappointed now if we're not in the playoffs at least. You know what I mean? We've got to be up there. So they've got a plan. They probably know already who they're targeting in January, whether we're winning games or losing games. They know in their mind who they're going to try and bring in. So we've just got to wait and see, but we just got to keep playing as we're doing at the moment. We're picking up great results away from home. And like I say, if we can iron out this home form and even just make it that slightly bit better, we're going to be, forget the playoffs, we could be we're in these top 3 positions. Do you know what I mean? If we can sort this home form out and keep the away form going as it is.
Yeah. Sorry, Warren. I repeated the question to you there. Ned's beard has just totally thrown me off the game there a bit. But what I was going to ask, I'll ask it to Woody now. Do you think, because with the last international call up and we had a few injuries that obviously left us quite short, do you think that we need to make any additional signings just to bring players in who can just cover certain positions?
Yeah, I don't know how many. Have we got one more loan space left as well?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think we got one more loan space. So I do wonder whether they've got their eye on somebody already for that in January, that they're going to, maybe have a bit of a wage deal on a loan, on a decent loan player. I think maybe Johnny Williams could have a word with his Welsh mate, Hal Robson-Kanu, get somebody like that. He's unattached at the moment. Bring him in. Why not? He's been here before. We never would have thought we would get Johnny Williams. So, in terms of an experienced forward, why not? But in terms of what we need, I agree with. I think it was Kieran said it. We do need another centre back. I think we need that regardless, because Baldry, unfortunately, is just. Although he did quite well for those games, I believe that he came in for. I don't see it. If we're going to have, if one of our centre backs picks up a major injury that rules him out for the rest of the season, we're not going to be able to rely on Baldry to fill in his place. And I think he's injured again now, isn't he? But and sod it, let's just get another midfielder in as well, because we've got 150 of them. So let's just have another one in. But yeah, I think depth is important. So yeah, one experienced striker to come in just to take the pressure off Simpson a little bit. But then I'd be quite happy to have one really good loan player, and then maybe just a couple of people that are a bit like kind of Ryan East's kind of stature, if you like, somebody who's not necessarily going to set the world alight, but will do a job when they come on. But then I think we've got probably maximum registration as well. We're probably not far off that. So we might have to see some go out the door before we recruit in again. So, which kind of defeats the object of adding to squad depth. But maybe, we've put, Agua's gone to Chippenham. Who's the other one that went to Chippenham? Parsons, yeah. So, maybe that's why they're doing that, to free up some spaces. Parsons, maybe Garner doesn't feel he's quite ready for it this season, which is fine. Aguas seems to be a bit of a strange signing now, given that he's been out on loan. But yeah, we just I'm not too worried about experience. I think we have a good level of experience in there, except for that forward position.
I think Garner would go the whole season with the squad the way it is. I think if he got into January and Clem said, or that Chorley said, look, the right player isn't there, I think Garner would happily bring back Aguirre from Parsons, and he'd go with what he's got. I feel like he's got them all on side, all on board with what he wants, and I think he would happily go the rest of the season with the squad the way it is.
I think it also depends on where we are in January as well, because I can not categorically say it, but Garner would have had his eyes on promotion all the way through this season. From pre-season, the moment Chorley started talking to players and he knew what players, he would have had his eyes on promotion. So if we are in the top 3, which is possible in end of December, January time, Garner will be saying, I want to make a right push for this now. What I wouldn't be surprised, pains me to say it, I wouldn't be surprised to see Grant go in January, and that would release a hell of a lot of wages. So, and I think we'd probably replace Wisely there. Chorley, I think Chorley's been, he's almost like a B-Tech Ned. So it's not quite to Ned's level of scouting, but he's nearly there.
He makes Paul Jewell look absolutely shite, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, we still haven't had confirmation that Paul Jewell's left the club, have we?
No, that's true.
I know he's definitely suing him now. Whether he's strapped inside the cloakroom or not, I don't know.
Well, then, lads, I'm conscious that we're going to run into the second episode that Fyfie's recording. So, if there's anything else you wanted to. Is there anything else you guys want to add to that with Swindon's position in the league before we move on to the league in general?
No, I don't. One more thing, I don't think Aguiar's loan move is actually as weird as it seems, because he came from quite a low non-league level. I think it's equivalent of like Southern League One. So I think he's very much one for the future, and I don't think he was like going to be a Charlie Austin-esque signing where he can just jump straight in and smash it. So I think they're slowly going to blood him through National League South, possibly even send him to a National League side. But I think they've looked at Chippenham as well for what they've done for us at that, and that level's done for players like Scotty Twine, etc. And that's why they've sent them both there. So I think he was always very much one for the next season, next couple of seasons, sort of one as an asset for sell on in the future.
You've read it right. He trains with Swindon still, doesn't he, in the week? And
he
plays
trains
on a Saturday.
because Chip read it part time. He would train with us. He train with us most of the week.
Yeah, you're right.
Chip training on like a Thursday night or whatever they do.
And I forgot he's only 20 as well, Kieran. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I forgot he's really young. For some reason, I associate him with like a 24-year-old late bloomer type thing. But yeah, he is only 20 as well. It's just a slick Rick hairstyle that's makes him look older.
Yeah, hopefully that loan spell will do wonders for him, like Kieran said it did for Scotty Twine. So yeah, we'll move on to the league. I've got the league table up at the moment. So we've got Forest Green in first, Port Vale second, Exeter third, Northampton, then Harrogate, Newport, then ourselves in seventh place. We're on the same number of points as 4 other teams. We're only 5 teams off top. I'll start with you, Kieran. Is there any surprises there? Do you think there's any?
I think Port Vale being as high as they are at the moment, I think it always surprises me when they are anywhere sort of other than mid-table, because I know they've been in League One. I think they've been in League One with us, but they're a team that have been down here a long old time now. So you don't really ever expect them to do anything. So they're a bit of a surprise that they're so high at this stage. Hope whether they can carry on or not is another story. But I think they beat Accrington last in the FA Cup, didn't they? 5-1. So I think they're going to have a good season. Hopefully, if we have to go in the playoffs, they can drop into the playoffs, and then we can play them either in the final, because we always seem to beat them in the final and get rid of that Wembley duct. But other than that, I think we expected Forest Green to be up there. Maybe they've had a blinding start to the season, but they seem to be not running away with it as they were before. But obviously they've got a game in hand over sort of the second and third. But yeah, I think other than that, there's not maybe Harrogate as well. I think being up there, and certainly Sutton as well, because I think we all wrote Sutton off because of their lack of revenue. Didn't think they would do much, and I don't think they're going to chase promotion, but I think they're very much going to be safe this year. But Harrogate have got a good chance. They've been sort of consistently up there. I know they've sort of faltered a bit as well. They were sort of second, but they're not doing too badly, which is a surprise. Sort of second season, you'd think they'd be struggling down towards the bottom end of the league.
Yeah. I mean, certainly Sutton, like you said, with their financial situation, them in 8th place, that's nothing short of a miracle, really. So, fair play to them. Ned, obviously, Forest Green Rovers are the team to beat. We've already beaten them once this season. Do you think we could top them, or have they just got that little bit more, obviously, consistency to go all the way?
Well, I've got a newfound hate for Forest Green now, so
that's why I asked you, mate. It's your favourite club, mate.
A tin pot club that shouldn't fucking exist.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said, but everyone would slate me onto it. Never mind. None of the Swindon people stuck up
it won't
for me,
be
by
the
the way.
first time you've been slated on Twitter, will it? So.
He's
No,
buzzing
not the
Brantley.
Hey! I'm joking.
So go on, tell us about your favourite team, Forest Green.
Forest Green. Well, I mean, even before the Twitter thing, I put asterisks next to the teams that I think are going to have a nice, end to the season, and I didn't put them against Forest Green. I think they're going to tail off. I think they're going to finish in the playoffs, and I think they'll not win in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be getting promoted. And I haven't really got anything other than the fact that they're tin pot. I think they're going to get a few injuries, and I think they won't replace anyone. With any decent players. I know they have brought in some good players previously. I think they've been very lucky. I don't rate them. I don't. They've had a great start, but I think they're going to falter, and I guess that today has added to my deep deep resentment towards them. I think it's going to be the top 5. I would say I think it's going to be Port Vale. I think it's going to be Exeter. I think it's going to be Newport, Swindon, and I think Leyton Orient are going to be the team that sort of goes from mid-table mediocrity to title contention. I think they look decent. I don't think they've lost in their last 6. There's been a lot of draws. So I think if they convert those draws into wins...
They've won, in the last 5, they've won 1 and drawn 4.
Yeah, I think if they can turn those draws into wins, I think they're a decent team, decent manager. I think they'll challenge the for the top spaces. But yeah, Forest Green, not for me. I don't like them, wankers.
We'll get Fyfie to tag Forest Green Rovers into the tweet when he uploads this onto YouTube, mate. And tag you in as well, especially, mate.
Delvin's douchebag, yeah.
Woody, Harrogate, sort of similar to Sutton, have been another sort of fairy tale sort of journey this season. Do you think they could go the full distance, considering only a couple of seasons, much like Sutton last season, they were only part-time?
Yeah, I think Harrogate, if I'm honest, out of that top 7, I think Harrogate will probably be the only team that probably won't change from around the 4th to 7th. I think there'll be a playoff team this year. I do agree with Ned's, although I don't really like them either, but I do think Forest Green will drop in form. If I was to put money on it now, I think Exeter will win the league. I think they're starting to get a good momentum now. And I just think they'll have the spending power. I think their stands are reopened. Their stands open now, so they're going to get good crowds. So they're going to. I think the Harrogate. I still think Harrogate will be playoffs. I actually think that it will be Exeter in first, us in second, and Newport in third. And then I think it will be Port Vale, Harrogate. I think Leyton Orient, and I think I said Newport potentially. I can't remember. I wrote it down earlier, but I've left it over there.
You just copy me, essentially, yeah?
Yeah, well, no. I said Exeter will win the league and we'll finish second.
Yeah, so it's like when your teacher asks you to copy it, when you copy someone's homework, you're like, no, change it up a little bit just so it doesn't look like completely copied.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. No, where was Harrogate in yours, Ned?
oh yeah, that's the only difference. Yeah, fair play.
Yeah,
The one
and
change.
Exeter winning the league and Swindon finished second. But we won't worry about that.
Well, to be fair, Woody, Exeter were one of my sort of outside the box predictions to be down the bottom. So it shows I know fuck all as well. So
mate, I had Mansfield and Salford to go up in the early predictions, and they're both sweetly sat 17th and 18th.
Well, we'll go to the bottom here because, like I say, we are a bit short of time at the moment. So yeah, sorry, Warren, but you're going to have to look at the bottom of League Two.
I reckon Warren's the bottom man.
I think when we were doing the predictions, Oldham and Scunthorpe were mentioned. Do you think there's any hope for them two teams? I mean, it's still tight down there at the bottom, so Stevenage and Carlisle can get sucked in, or do you think it will stay as it is?
Am I right? I think Keith Hill's just gone in at Scunthorpe, I believe. I think he's one of those managers that if there's anyone that's going to get him out, he's one of those managers, and he's a bit of a Sam Allardyce of League Two, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Gets teams out of trouble. I think that's a great bit of business for them just to keep them in the league. Oldham, they've got to sort out their off-field things if they're going to have any chance, aren't they? If they could sort the ownership of the club out, it'd be a bit like us. The fans would get back on side, and they'll catch a wave. But those two would seem down. There's a load down there. I think the Salford and the Mansfields are going to push higher. They can't stay down there for the whole season. They won't. They've got the money. They've got the money to both push up the league. And there's just loads of steady teams down there, isn't there? Your Carlisles, your Stevenages, and there's not really anything exciting to say. It's just going to be those four down the bottom. I think will stay there, and it'll be the worst two of the four, obviously, that are going to go down.
Do you think Oldham's off the pitch issues will contribute towards?
I think it 100%. If they don't sort the problems, that they'll be down, because they if you haven't got the fans on side, the players, every time they're walking out on the pitch, it's hard enough if they were just sat mid-table. But when you've got a relegation battle on your hands as well, and you haven't got your fans on side fully giving you their support, it just makes it tougher and tougher for them. So I think they'll be down the bottom. If there was one team picking from the bottom that I think could push higher, I think Matty Taylor's Walsall at the moment. I think they've been in a really good run of form. I think he started getting his ideas across, and I think they could push higher. I honestly do. I think they could be a team to watch that could push and break into the playoffs. I really do. Yeah, that's about it.
No, excellent, mate. You didn't have a lot to work with, mate. So that was good, mate. That was good. That's what you call scraping the barrel, mate. So good stuff. Kieran, we mentioned Salford. Warren reckons that they will sort of, improve, but it just looks like they underachieve, season on season since they've been in League Two. And Gary Bowyer, he's one of those managers who doesn't really inspire much confidence for me. I think he's an incredibly dull sort of manager. And do you think he's the man who can turn it around at Salford, or?
No, they'll sack it. I think they'll sack it before the end of the season, possibly before January if they don't get where they want to, because they've already proven, despite that one of their owners' words about how there's no loyalty in football, managers should be given a chance and stuff. He doesn't fucking give his managers a chance, despite because he clearly knows fuck all about football management, because he did fuck all at Valencia. Stick to punditry, but no, they proved you can't spend money and buy a league. Forest, they should have learned from Forest Green, because they fucking tried it for long enough, and they're going to fail again. But I think they can't really go on with the amount of money they spend year on year and across the years since they've been in the Football League, to be sort of down that bottom end at risk of relegation. I think they'll stay up with Gary Bowyer, but if they want to push on and have a resurgence, a Bolton-like resurgence in the second half of this season, they need to get someone in there to inspire them. But I don't know many people would go there now, because they're a bit of a managerial merry-go-round there, because obviously they sort of, when they turfed Gary Alexander out for he was doing a good job at the time. He wasn't doing terribly badly, and they put Wellens in there. And I think Wellens is, and go back to Matty Taylor, I think Matty Taylor is going to be a similar manager to Wellens. Your team isn't going to improve overnight, but eventually in a year, you'll have a very, very good side and be challenging up there. And you'll see that in the second half of the season. But I think, again, Salford, and they didn't really give Wellens a proper chance, despite really having a bit of a squad. And he won them a trophy, and he got sacked within a week of it. Beating a sort of league higher team. So I think managers look at it, and then unless they're desperate, they're sort of going to look at hopefully somewhere they can a bit more job stability. But I think that if they don't sack, I think Bowyer isn't the man to turn it around. I think they'll sort of be mid-table with him. If they get someone in that can really sort of kick them up the arse and get them up there, I think they could have a chance, maybe playoffs. But I don't think they will, because they're not very good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree, mate. And I think if they'll want to bring in a new manager so that he can bring in his own players in January, I'd have thought so. I think, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either if Gary Bowyer does go. So yeah, I think. Oh, sorry, Ned. Yeah, go on, mate. You're on mute.
I was just waving goodbye to Gary Bowyer because he's a blooming shit manager, isn't he? King shit house.
Ned doesn't like a lot of people in this league. All of a sudden,
I was going to say, Kieran, I was going to say to Ned, is there anyone else, any other teams or managers or sets of fans you want to insult before I close this episode?
No, but I was going to say about how awful Stevenage and Carlisle are at the moment. They have to really turn it around before January, really, don't they? Because they are absolutely shocking at the moment. Very, very poor. Stevenage, one draw in the last 6 games, is that right? They are really struggling. And last couple of years, Stevenage was a decent team in League One, if I'm not mistaken.
They've been trying to get Steve Evans in, haven't they? I read today.
They're lucky to be in this league after Macclesfield a couple of years ago went bust or got the administration and got deducted by a point. And they were awful that year. They should have gone down. I think they got lucky last year that Southend were in a bit of a pickle and whoever else went down with them. But yeah, they're awful. They're a non-league side. They should get out and fuck off. Free caperers, stand robbing bastards.
Jesus Christ. Okay, right. Let's move on to Newport game on Saturday. Obviously, it's away from home. We've got a lot of restrictions and everything for fans. If you are travelling to the game, I would advise you to go to the Swindon Town website just to check what you need. You don't want to go all the way there and get turned away because of the restrictions. So just make sure you're adequately prepared if you are going there. Ned, let's stick with you. How do you think we'll do on Saturday?
That's a tricky one, isn't it? At some point our away form's got to falter, and they are a very good team, especially at home. I think we're going to draw that game. I think they're going to take the lead. I think we'll sort of come into the game a bit more in the second half. But yeah, I don't. It's not going to be as easy as some of our previous away games. But yeah, I think this is going to be I think one of our biggest challenges so far, because they're very physical, aren't they? And yeah, they're very good at home. They're just one of those teams. They got I didn't do my research for Newport. Is it Tristan Abraham they got up front? Is that right?
Timmy.
Thank you.
No,
it's Telford.
They got Telford.
Yeah,
he's got the 10 goals.
Goal scorer, isn't he, in the league?
I thought they had that Abraham as well, but he's a real handful. He's an absolute knobhead as well. I thought I'd just chuck that in there for you.
Same as Harry Purdy, but I ain't playing, is he?
But he's ours, so it's fine. He's our knobhead. But yeah, I mean, you could see that he was being a right arsehole to the defenders and also the fans when they come to us. So he's a proper handful. So they need to be on. We really need to be on our game against Newport. So I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle. But what do you guys think?
We're going to lose.
Leave it open to you guys.
I think we're going to lose purely on the fact that Newport, you want to play them. If you're going to play them at their place, you want to play them like first few games of the season because their pitch is shit because of the rugby. And I don't know what it's like at the minute, but it's not going to be great still.
and we always struggle at Newport the last few years. It's just even when I think when in March 20, it must be like January 2020. In the year we ended up winning it on an asterisk, I think it was one of the worst games I watched to us that season. We were like diabolical that day. We just couldn't do it. And I think that's how they do so well at home, is because they can play on that pitch. It's a horrible little pitch to go to. There's so many little divots. It's not a good pitch to play on. And they just
they've had it relayed. I think they've had it relayed.
I think they have it relayed every year, but I still don't think it's a great pitch. Either way, even if it's been relayed, it's still going to be horrendous because of the rugby on it. And they don't have the same money as like your Bristol Cities do and your Readings and Brentfords do for your pitch maintenance of the rugby on it. So it's probably hopefully better than it is. But I think they're just a bogey side for us away from home. I mean, even at home sometimes I think they're a bogey side. And I think the Papa John's Pizza LDV Vans Trophy thing isn't. We were clever with the lineup and that we didn't really play the type of team we normally would against the Newport, but they're going to know our sort of style of play a little bit more now. And I just think it's one of those bogey games that our run will come to an end against them because it's just typical Swindon fashion, a semi sort of derby game somewhere where we'll take a lot of fans to want to win and they'll ruin their day.
Yeah, that's all good, mate. Warren, have you got anything to add at all, mate?
I'm normally the real pessimistic one that goes, oh no, I think we think, but I fancy us at the weekend, to be honest with you. I think we will play really well. I think the break will have done us good. I think any little niggles that has been sorted. We've got the players back from international. I'm with Kieran's point about the pitch, but I think it has been relayed and I think it's a lot better than what it has been previous seasons. So I don't think it will affect our style of football that we'll be able to go there and play. I think they might still be in a transition period with the new manager or losing Flynn, I think, you know what I mean, or Flynn leaving and then picking a new manager. I think our away form's solid, obviously. And I think we'll go there, and I can't see us losing the game. Whether we nick it enough, whether we're good enough to win the game, but I don't think we'll lose. And I think our away run will carry on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good chat. It's so tight at the top there that anything's possible, and we can continue.
These are the big games as well. When you're playing teams around us, it's just the 6-pointer phrase, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? These are the ones that get you right at the top end of the league when you take points off teams around you. And yeah, I think Garner, full week's training or full 10 days with players that haven't been away, I think he'll have them all ready. They've all had a little break, and I think we'll be really tough to beat on Saturday. I think we'll go there, big away following, and I think we could nick it.
Excellent, mate. Excellent. Woody, do you have anything to add? Any tactical insights or anything like that?
All I really know is I know that they did definitely have some very good pitch work done. I think they got the same grounds provider as the guys who do Chelsea now. So I think I don't think the pitch will be an issue. It is still a small pitch, I guess, but as we're finding out at home, maybe small pitches suit us a little bit better than larger pitches. But so Newport haven't lost in 5. They're under a new manager. They want revenge on us, so I think we're going to win 3-0. I think we will win convincingly, if I'm honest. I think that they'll be trying to contemplate how to deal with any of the changes that we've got, like Harry McCurdy won't be playing. Who knows who could go in Harry McCurdy's place?
Alex Gilbert.
Yeah, I know, but what I mean is Newport could say they could be Alex Gilbert. They could change Johnny Williams' role. So there's a lot that they might have to contend with as well. So I generally think we're going to win 3-0. I don't think this is the game where our away form is going to slip up just yet. I'm feeling very, very positive towards the end of the year. I think we are going to, this week break's going to do us some good, and we're going to surprise a lot of people, I think, between now and Christmas. I think we'll be second. And I also got to mention earlier with our predictions, I think we're going to win the Papa John's Trophy as well. Just to chuck that one out there.
That means we have to win at Wembley. Fuck off. We have to score a goal
mate,
there.
this is a season of change. This is the Morphuni era. This is a season of change.
I've watched Swindon for too long. You think some things are going to change, but they don't. And so that'd be one thing that would to the day I die, I reckon.
Yeah, and I don't give a shit about the Papa Johns, so yeah.
But you know what will happen? You know what will
He'll be at
happen?
Wembley with his
No, but
we'll get to the final, and then they'll say that Wembley can't be used, and then we'll play it somewhere else and we'll win it.
That's the only way we will. Yeah. No, seriously, I like the positivity there. That's brilliant, mate. So yeah, I think we'll end it there, lads, before Fyfie kicks my ass as we're running into his recording time now. So yeah, thank you all, guys. Thank you for joining us this evening, and thank you everyone who is watching. If you have watched and you've enjoyed it, could you please consider leaving a like? It makes a huge difference to the visibility of the channel, and share the shit out of this on social media as well, so that we can get it to as many Swindon Town fans as
tag Forest Green.
Like Forest Green, get their 7 fans interested. That's it. Yeah.
And on that note, we will end. Thanks for watching Fools Rush In on the Craig train. Good night.
Don't do doggy with doggy.
Hey!